everybody. So today we have a few things we need to do, but keep in mind this video is for Tuesday, September 22nd. And I did update quite a few things on our Blackboard page here, including the syllabus and the course schedule. So when you get a chance, please take a look at the syllabus and course schedule because I did update those. And I actually made those Google Docs just because they're so much easier to edit in real time. So let's take a look at the course schedule together, as we always do. And we are on week 5, I believe. Yep, we are on week 5. So for today, what we're going to be doing is finishing up peer review online. You should finish drafting the DCA, and we're going to do an in-class online type workshop type thing. And please do finish up the final DCA revisions, edits, and we're going to finish peer review, or at least try to by midnight tonight. And then on Thursday, I am going to show you how to turn in your final draft of the DCA, and that will be through a Dropbox on Blackboard. And we're also going to begin essay number 2, pre-write and discussion. And then what you're going to do over the course of Thursday is turn in the final DCA essay by midnight via Dropbox on Blackboard, like I just said. And then for homework, what you're going to be doing is reading chapter 10 and completing reading response number 4 by next Tuesday at noon. And for the second paper, actually, we're going to be doing a rhetorical analysis, and I will assign a reading for the weekend, which is an article from the New York Times. And I'll do a lesson on Thursday talking about this, but what we're going to be doing is annotating that article together as a class. And there's a way to do that online through a technology called Hypothesis, which is basically a group collaborative type activity that you can do while viewing an article. And the whole class will be annotating the article together as a group. So that's what we'll be doing. So it will be some group work, kind of a chance to socialize. And I think it might be kind of fun. I probably will also contribute to our annotations for our article, just because we only have about 8 people and we kind of have a small class. And there are a couple links in there that I probably will annotate personally that go to other articles. But what I'll do is probably download that article from the New York Times and I'll make it a PDF so that way you don't have to subscribe to the New York Times to view the article. So you'll be able to just do that on Blackboard. But like I said, we're not worried about that right this second. So what we should be concentrating on today is finishing up that DCA draft and finishing peer review. And I would like everyone to please finish peer review by midnight tonight, just because I would like the final DCA turned in by Thursday night by midnight. So let's talk about that for a second. So what you're going to do to turn in your final DCA draft is go under the drop boxes for papers. And I have this DCA final draft box open here. So what you're going to do is click on that. So you can submit the DCA as a Word document, a PDF, or a Google Docs link. All three is totally fine. And there is actually a way to convert your Google Docs into a Word document. And if you just download it then and upload, that is totally fine as well. In fact, I'll even show you all how to sort of do that. So this is the test document that I have for the DCA, and it is a previous model of a student of mine. And I also used this in our last lesson to show how to embed comments, and I'll talk about peer review too. But just so you know, there is a way to download your Google document. All you do is go to File, Download, and go to Microsoft Word or even PDF. And all you do then is save that file. And then from there, you can go to Browse My Computer, and then you would go under Downloads and go to the Discourse Community Draft in my case. And in order to upload the paper, you have to checkmark I agree to submit my papers to the global reference database, and this allows me to check papers for plagiarism or any sort of thing. So that's the main purpose there, and then all you do from there is hit the submit button. And then from there, that is how you submit your final draft of the DCA. And all it does, it takes a moment to load, but it does eventually upload. And it uploads as a document, and then that way I'm able to grade it. So that's what you should be doing in terms of submitting the final version of the DCA. But now let's go back and do a sort of mini review of what we should be doing. So over the weekend, I did ask everyone to post their DCA drafts. And everyone has them posted here, so that's awesome. But let's also go back and do a sort of mini review of the intro to peer review for the DCA and what you should be considering for peer review for the DCA. So I'm going to begin my lesson here with a video from MIT, which is a video called No One Writes Alone. And this video is about 6 minutes. I would highly recommend it. It gives a great overview of peer review. But basically what peer review is part of the writing process in a lot of college comp courses now, because all you do is switch papers with a peer review partner, and then they're able to give feedback on your paper without grades attached. So peer review is a practice run for the final draft. And like I said, it's a way to get feedback without a grade attached, which is sort of nice. And what we're really trying to get into this semester is the whole writing process of drafting, revising and editing, and then finally the final product. So I think everyone has this down, but here are the instructions for peer review, which is starting a new Google Doc with your DCA draft, sharing the link of the document, and enabling comments. And you can post the link to our discussion board for our purposes. Keep in mind, I do use my lessons for other comp classes that I'm teaching as well. So sometimes our lessons might overlap a little bit. So for our purposes, for our small online class, instead of sending the link to your partner via email, you can just post it to the discussion board. And then what you're going to do is answer the following questions via comments in the Google Doc, or at least giving some overall feedback or overarching feedback on the paper. And then you can post the link to the discussion board once you have your comments all done on your partner's paper. So how to do this? Once a Google document is made, the link and comments can be shared. Comments can be made also once permissions are enabled. So I took a screenshot of that little sample paper that I showed you a little while ago, and that's basically how you enable comments. Or you can also post your comments to the discussion board as well, and that's fine too. But the most important part is enabling permissions for your document so your peer review partner can comment on the paper. So all you do is click on that little blue share button that is typically in the upper right hand corner of Google Docs. And then once you hit share with people in groups, there's an option to anyone with the link can share. And then there's three options to the right in the window there. And what you want to do is click on commenter. So things that you should be sort of providing feedback on for peer review in general. And there is a lot of peer review in both Comp 1 and Comp 2. So it is something quite common in both courses. But what you should be doing is commenting on the introduction. And these are just sort of questions to guide your feedback. It's not like you have to write down the questions and answer each one of them. It's just a sort of guideline of what you should be commenting on and looking for in terms of your partner's paper. So they should look at your thesis, signify and claim. Do they explain the discourse community fully to the outsider audience? And do they show and tell us why the community is important? And the thesis statement. You should look to see, is it there? Is it in the proper place? Does the thesis contain a claim? And how is the style and wording of the thesis? Other things you should be looking for in terms of peer review are the reasons and topic sentences. You should also look for evidence of logos. You want to locate the moment where the student is explaining how they mastered the logos, the ways of knowing and of communicating of the discourse community. You should also look for ethos within the paper. And you should also, of course, look for pathos within the paper. So you want to locate the moment where the student is explaining how they mastered the pathos, the notes, values, traditions, or norms of that discourse community. And does the author narrate? So those are things you should be looking for in terms of peer review. Now, I know there are a few people that have not completed peer review yet, and I sort of want to take a look at the forms real quick with you guys. So I think I should go ahead and sort of informally assign groups here. But it looks like a few people have done that and have already exchanged papers. So the two papers left that could use feedback are Ryan's paper and also Christian's papers. So I would probably recommend that you both do peer review on each other's papers. And hopefully that allows everyone to receive equal feedback. And if you have any questions, you can, of course, email me. But I do want to talk about another little thing that I did put up on our Blackboard page today. So I put up this little handy link to Technology Help. And what this is that these are LinkedIn Learning courses. So if you ever need additional help of how to use Google Websites, Blackboard, Google Drive, Google Docs, or Zoom, I have free links up. And all you do is log in with your GCC Login Essentials. And these courses are free and they offer videos and also like a video course of how to do certain things within these programs. So it explains how to create a Google website. It also explains how to embed files within your website. So this video here is what explains how to embed files within your website if you're struggling with that, or even how to change the images on your website. So if there's certain things that you want in terms of images on your web page or on your website, there's videos of how to do that. And most of these videos are only about maybe 2 or 3 minutes long. So this whole course honestly probably would take you about 25 minutes to complete at most. And they have the same thing for Blackboard, Google Docs, and that kind of thing. And like I said, it's free. Once you log into LinkedIn Learning with your JCC account information, you're able to access these courses at any time. So like for Google Docs, it explains how to enable permissions. It also explains different things you can do with Google Docs. It explains how to share a document with others and how to print, email, and download a Google document, and also how to add comments to your Google Doc. So if that's something you struggle with, you're definitely welcome to access these videos at any time. In fact, I also added these links to my other courses, and students seem to be really responding well to these. And if you have questions about like Google websites, Blackboard, Google Drive, Google Docs, and Zoom, this is a great free resource to have available to you. Also, if you need further writing help, I did put up a link on how to make an appointment with the Learning Center. So if you want additional feedback in addition to the peer review feedback you received, all you do is click on Need Further Help, make an appointment with the Learning Center, and it will take you to directions on how to create a tutoring appointment through Starfish. And like I said, free online tutoring is available to you at any point during this semester. And these directions will take you through how to make a tutoring appointment. So anyway, that is it. And just to sort of recap very quickly, what we did today is talk about peer review. I would like everyone to please finish peer review by midnight tonight on Blackboard. And you should make final revisions and edits to your DCA draft. And then the final draft of the DCA is due by midnight tomorrow, or by midnight on Thursday. And then on Thursday, what we're going to be doing is starting essay number 2, pre-writing and discussion. And what you should be doing over the weekend, which I will talk about further on Thursday, is reading chapter 10, reading response number 4, which I will also put up on our discussion board, and also annotating an article for the paper, but I will talk further about that. So what you should be worrying about right now in terms of today is finishing up peer review and turning in your final DCA draft, which I do show how to do in this video. Anyway, that is it for today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. If you need to email me, feel free, or if you would like to see me during my office hours on Friday, I have office hours this week from 3 to 5 on Friday. Thank you and have a great